Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome to a little video where I will be showcasing my finished medieval village in Tektopia. So this video is more so meant for the people who haven't seen every single episode of my Tektopia series. Perhaps you would like a little bit of a recap on everything we've done, or maybe you'd just like to see what a fully functioning finished village looks like in Tektopia, or maybe you've just stumbled across the video and want to see a medieval village. I don't know, but those of you who have seen every episode of the series, this might not interest you too much, but hey, you might still enjoy it. So before we begin here, I'll quickly explain what Tektopia is in case any of you watching do not already know. Basically, it's an improved villager mod created by TangoTek where villagers no longer just stand around idly waiting for you to trade with them. They have their own interface, they have their own skins, they have their own jobs, and they are much better than vanilla Minecraft villagers. And you will also notice there are also these structure markers above each of the doors, which makes you able to create custom buildings like this and actually have the villagers interact with them. So this is Mecklen Vale, named after our very first villager, Mecklen Vale, who is quite the character on my channel, likes to make an appearance from time to time, and he's probably here walking around somewhere, don't know where exactly. We have a total of 82 villagers in this space, so it's very difficult to find the one you're looking for, but yes, why don't I show you around a little bit. The first thing we built is the same thing that's built in every Tektopia village to begin with, the town hall. So this big building right here is pretty much in the center of everything, at least near enough, and on the outside you can see we've got the village banner, which you'll notice dotted around from time to time around the place. And on the inside is the architect and the tradesman who we do all of our trading with. Upstairs is actually a separate building entirely. I will show you what that is later on. But over here you will find the map of the whole village, which we made in the last episode yesterday, which honestly is one of my favorite things in this entire place. Alongside the town hall, the storage room is going to be one of the first buildings you do. It's a necessity for the village and you have to have it to store items. Go figure, right? That's what you'd assume. So this isn't actually the first design I had for the storage room. We did have something else to begin with, but it ended up just not really fitting very well, so I redesigned the place and ended up with this. So there is a front and back entrance to reduce foot traffic, which doesn't really help too much. This place gets very cramped from time to time, but in here is just all of the items that the villagers have crafted up. This is just a nice little fountain surrounded by some farmland, which I think makes for quite a nice centerpiece to the village in this open area over here. And it's the main farm that a lot of the farmers will harvest crops from because it is so close to the storage room over there. But we do actually have a couple more around the place. We have one down by the lake just going along the shoreline, as well as a little beetroot farm in a mushroomified cave. This is one of the tree farms, which also wasn't the original design. The first one was a lot smaller and didn't hold as many trees as this one does, but we've got 3 little fenced off areas with every type of tree you can sell to the merchant: jungle, birch, spruce and oak. There's an oak. But we do also have one on top of the mountain over there, which doesn't really get used as often because it is quite far away, but every now and again a lumberjack will go up to the top of the mountain and bring it back down the path all the way to the storage room. Yeah, it's quite the trek for just one tree. Oh, the mines. I have had my fair share of issues with this place. As I built this entire village, I was pretty much learning Tektopia from the very get-go, so the mines were something I struggled with greatly, and originally I had them going all the way down to y=11. If I just go through this little fenced off area here, it continues like that all the way down to virtually bedrock. In the end, I ended up making it only one staircase down, leading to y=62. And because the druid will replenish any type of ore into the stone, it means that at this level you can find diamonds, gold, emeralds, pretty much any type of ore. I'm trying to find one here, but I'm not getting very lucky. Once the miners have collected the ores, dumped them off into a storage room, a blacksmith can then come along and bring them over to the smithy to make some armor or some other ingots or perhaps some weapons or tools. And this is one of the two smithies we have in this building. It's actually the smaller of both of them, and there's really not too much going on in here. All you really need for a smithy is some furnaces, crafting tables and an anvil, which is all we've got going on in here. And something really cool you can do in Tektopia is on structures like this, or any structures at all really, you don't actually have to have walls. All you need is some sort of doorway and a roof. So as long as what you build is under some sort of block connected to the door, you can have some cool open areas like this, which is what I've utilized in both of the builds actually. So upstairs here there's a little staircase going to a very small and cramped 2-person home. This is what, a 3x6 area. Not a lot of room for movement in there, but if we just head over to the 6-person home, the smithy, that's not the right structure. The other smithy, you can see virtually the same idea as far as like how the building is laid out. So we've got the smithy with the little open area here and a 2-person home at the top. The open working area here is substantially bigger. There are quite a few more things, such as this big forge with a chimney poking out the top. You can just see it there. The inside, pretty plain, just a very high amount of furnaces, and this is the 2-person home, which actually has some quite nice interior design, I think. So over here is the housing district, as I like to call it. This is where the majority of the homes in the village are. We do have a couple others just dotted around the place here and there. They are usually only 2 or 4-person homes and on the smaller side, but this is where the larger homes go. We have a 12-person house here, an 18-person house here, and then a few smaller ones. This is a 2 and a 2 upstairs one. And yeah, this is where most of the villagers go at night time. As you can hear, it's very twinkly from all the hearts that I'm not picking up. But why don't we check a couple of these out? You may be thinking that I am incapable of reading numbers. I know this says 6 and I said this was an 18-person home, but there is actually a little trick you can do in case you don't already know, where you can build structures inside of other structures. So that is what we've done here. We've got 3 levels, each of them consisting of a 6-person home. Now, there is a thing in this mod pack called overcrowding, where depending on the size of the house you can only have a limited amount of floor space. Now with this place we pretty much hit the limit, and I wasn't able to do much interior decorating, so the larger houses don't really have that much inside them of detail and are virtually all the same. As you can see, we've got lots of beds on the 2nd level, and then if we go up to the 3rd level over here, quite a windy staircase can get very busy when it's nighttime and all the villagers are coming in. As you can see, another 6-person home token, and yeah, they're all sleeping away. This one has a little more detail in it, a couple of chairs and tables, but it's the smaller houses that look much better from the inside. Like these two, for example. So if we just head inside here, I can show you I had a little more room to play with in these, so I was able to put a few more things around, such as some little drawers here and a desk and some carpet on the floor to make a little welcoming mat, I suppose. And if we head in the other one real quick, this is actually a two-person home. We've got a 2-person home on the bottom here, which has some bookshelves and painting. Is that Mecklen? No, that's Krint. Nice little ceiling design, and then if we quickly run around and head up to the 2nd level, I can show you, if we just jump across the lake here, we've got a nice little overhang with some stalactites hanging off there with a triple cascading waterfall, which is quite a cool feature. Yes, we got a bridge going to the 2nd level here. I apologise for all of the twinkling. I have to pick these hearts up, but yeah, pretty much the same design as the bottom one, just upstairs. Also in the so-called housing district is the barracks. This is where the guards will go to train and sleep away the night. As you can see, one's coming out here. Hello Phoebe. We've got our banner designs again out front now. This is like the training yard, which unfortunately cannot be used by the villagers. This is meant to be a little archery range. Let's have a little shoot. Bullseye, perfect. That was actually really perfect. And then some training dummies over here, which are actually functional on the inside if we head in real quick. You can see we've got some seats, they're all saluting me, appreciate that, thank you guys. We've got some armor stands here that they'll train on from time to time and give a good smack to level up, and just a load of beds for them to sleep away. Some of them sleep in the night, some of them sleep in the day. I guess whilst it's still night time, I should show you the tavern, and yes, I know this clip you're seeing right now is not night time. That's because I recorded them all at once just to save on time really, but yes, this is one of 2 taverns we've got in the village, and on the inside unfortunately does not have any villagers because they've all gone to bed, but at the front here is the note block where the bard will play. You can place this down and now sort of hang around here, so you can create somewhat of a stage. And then we've got a big old table for all the villagers to sit on and drink and cheer and have a good time to increase their happiness. And then over here is just a little bar where I can imaginatively serve them some drinks. So this is the other tavern that is in fact the other half of the town hall that I mentioned about earlier. It's the upstairs. We've got a staircase on the outside because I wasn't able to fit one on the inside. And inside here is a little bit of a bigger tavern. This was actually kind of inspired by something you'd see in a restaurant with a stage, maybe like a stand-up gig or something like that, where everybody faces the front and watches a person perform. So when it's nighttime and everybody's in here, the bard's performing, it looks like all of the villagers, like you are wonderfully demonstrating, thank you, are watching the bard perform, which I think is quite cool. Some more banner designs, and yeah, there's a lot more room in this one, so I was able to chuck in a little bar on the side and some tables around the place. Next up is the school. This is actually the back entrance where there's a playground for the children to quote-unquote play on. They can't actually use any of it, it's more so just for decorative purposes only. But it's right outside the tavern pretty much. Perfect for the kids, the front entrance at least. And this building doesn't get used very often. It's not that frequent where I actually have children, so my teacher is bored like 99% of the time. She was actually our first villager ever to reach 100 intelligence, which she did in the library, which we'll get to right after this. But in here is just a little chalkboard, some reading material, another banner, and just a whole lot of desk chairs. So when a child finishes school, grows up and becomes a nitwit and gets himself a job, if they would like to continue to further their education, aka continue leveling up their intelligence, they can come to the library. Now, I think this is actually the biggest building in the village. The town hall might just about beat it, but yeah, this thing's quite large. So if we head on inside here, there is lots of room for reading activities. As you can see, I've got a whole lot of bookshelves, and basically villagers will come in here to read a book and level up their intelligence, which will allow their skill to be leveled up even higher. And we've also got an enchanting table here for myself and also the enchanter, who probably isn't going to make an appearance because that would just be too lucky, right? And then just some chairs and tables for them to sit and read on. Not that they actually do. I kind of wish they would like take the book and come sit on a chair and read it, but yeah, these are just cosmetic. They can't actually interact with them. If we exit out of the library and come around the corner a little ways, this is where the animal pens are, which, as you would have guessed it, is where all of the animals are kept. And over there is just a stack of hay bales and a little garden shed, which actually has something inside, I believe. Yes, just some equipment that's you'd find in a shed. I have no idea what all of this is apart from a hoe, but I felt like I had to put something in there just, you know, for the little details, right? So the ranchers will come along to the animal pens, they will breed all the animals up, they will shear the sheep, milk the cows, pick up the chickens' eggs, and then every now and again a butcher will come along and grab one of these animals when a pen will get to 75% capacity, which obviously depends on how big said pen is. They will grab an animal and bring them over to the butcher's building, which is meant to look a little more menacing than the rest of them. As you can see, I've used a lot more stone and iron bars instead of windows because it's a bit grim in here. There's some blood splatter along the floor, aka redstone. So yeah, the butcher will bring the animal here and do the dirty work and then take the meat to the storage room. which the chef will then pick up and take over to the kitchen, which is this building right here. And upstairs we have a 6-person home because, well, there was room in the upstairs, so I figured why not. But downstairs is actually where the kitchen is, which is where the chefs will go to cook up all of the meat and bread and whatnot. So all you need in a kitchen really is just a lot of furnaces and then crafting tables, depending on how many chefs you actually have. So at the time I only had 2 chefs, hence why there's 2 crafting tables in here. It's a little bit cramped, not a lot of room for movement, but hey, kitchens are quite cramped in real life, quite busy. I feel like it makes sense. So over here we have the merchant stool, which isn't exactly much of a stool and more so a wagon. This was actually a suggestion from one of you guys, and I'm so glad we added it because I think it looks great and it makes for a really cool addition to the village. But this is where the merchant will visit every day, and he stands around this token here waiting for me to trade with him. So yeah, it's really quite cool to see him actually come aboard the wagon here and just spend his days chilling, waiting for me. My villagers also like to take damage quite a lot. There are many cliffs for them to fall off, so if you ever see that in the bottom left corner, don't worry, nothing's going wrong, they're just being silly. Oh, that was quite a lot of damage actually. Go careful, Jalen. I believe this is the last structure marker I have to show you guys, and it's a small one. This is in fact the guard post. Now we actually have 5 of these dotted around the village, with 2 of them being purely cosmetic that are located just in the middle somewhere. And the purpose of these is to assign a guard to each guard post, and they will basically patrol the area looking out for mobs to kill. So it allows you to focus on certain points of your village that perhaps get attacked more than others. So the rest of the builds in the town serve no function to the villagers, such as my house you can see behind me here, on top of the hill looking over the entire village. I am the mayor after all, I deserve the best looking house, and I'll show you around real quick because I actually really like this build. So it's got 3 floors. This is the middle floor, which is just a storage room. It's not the nicest looking thing in the world because, well, there are chests just plastered all over the wall. Let's go downstairs to the basement first of all. We've got a little workstation here with an anvil. Again, a lot of this is actually not useful in any way, shape or form. It's really just for furnaces and an anvil. And down there is an AFK fish farm that I haven't used in a very long time. And then through here is actually another way to get into the building. We've got a little porch area here, I guess, where all the mud would come off and everything. You, I guess, put your shoes on the rack here or something like that, hang your coat up, and yeah, leads you to the outside. So it's got 2 entrances. We'll go back in the middle floor again, doing a bit of a roundabout. But up here is the master bedroom. Well, I guess not the master bedroom, it's the only bedroom. It's my bedroom. This is where I sleep away the night, not that I really ever do anymore. In fact, I can't remember the last time I slept through the night in Tektopia because it's not good for the villagers' happiness. But yeah, nice little fireplace, jukebox, some nice reading material, and a few chest of drawers. I nearly forgot to mention the view of the village, perfect for observing everybody from a safe distance. Another building which is entirely useless in the village is the brewery. Now, this kind of sounds like it could be a building of sorts that would have its actual structure marker, but sadly it does not, so once again it's only cosmetic, and there isn't a lot of room for any actual making of beer or anything like that, so I just pretty much placed in a bunch of random stuff that looked like it could possibly be doing something. So the idea is you would make the beer somehow, put it through this hole, and it would drip down around the outside into a barrel here, and then it would get full and flipped over and become one of these. Next up is the market stalls, and this is actually a fairly recent build. We did this in the previous episode, which came out yesterday if you're watching this video on the release date, and I really like how it turned out. It just adds a nice little bit of colour to the village, and we've got some crates along here, well, note blocks acting as crates, and some chests. And we're going to have to use our imagination and just pretend that there's villagers that trade stuff here. One of the larger and more time-consuming projects we did in this village was this big old lake and bridge you can see. So originally there used to be a dark oak forest under all this water here until I chopped it all down and filled it in manually. As you can imagine, that took a fair amount of time, and then we added a bridge in, which over there leads to one entrance, and then over there to another. I should also say why there are spruce trees in the middle of a dark oak forest. That's just where I get all my spruce wood. And then a couple of episodes later we built this cute little fishing hut, which actually goes into the lake a ways and is held up by the beams underneath the house, which is home to our adorable cat Mabel, as well as 4 other villagers. I guess if I'm showing you Mabel, it would be rude for me not to introduce you to the rest of the animals of the village. So this is Harry Potter. Harry Potter because he's under a little staircase like Harry Potter, and well, you can probably figure the rest out. Our other 2 friendly animal companions live in the stables over here nearby all of the houses. So this over here is Ace, and this is Tom Tom. They are best of buds. Now we do have a couple of other smaller structures such as the jail cell, the villager statue and the well, but apart from all of them I think we have basically covered everything except from one last building. So this is the Watchtower, which also has a kitchen in the bottom half because I needed more chefs about 3/4 of the way through the series, I would guess. So yeah, we built a nice little kitchen on the bottom level of this Watchtower, which has a staircase leading up to a floor which again serves no purpose other than to look nice, leading up to a 3rd floor which has a staircase leading up to the top floor, which has a very, very nice view of the village. So yes, I believe that is everything covered. I hope you guys like this, and if you would like to look around a little more in depth, there is actually a world download in the description, so if you would like to check it out, you are more than welcome to do so. Just remember, if you want to have all of the villagers walking around the place, you need Tektopia installed. Okay, I don't often do this, in fact I never have, and I certainly don't plan on making a habit of it, but I was looking through my analytics the other day and found out that there are over 75% of you guys who watch the videos who are in fact not subscribed. So if you liked what you saw today, please feel free to subscribe. Now would probably be the best time to do it. We are just about to start a new village next episode next week, and you are all caught up on what we did in this village, so yeah, if you'd like to do that then feel free, but if you don't, that's okay. No hard feelings, right? But yeah, that's actually going to be it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. You may also notice there's about 2.5 minutes left of the video. That's because I'm going to put in a little sequence that was in yesterday's episode of just some shaders action with some nice little music in the background. So yeah, those of you who have already seen it, you can click off now unless you want to watch it again. But yeah, if not, enjoy, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. you.